Okay, today we're looking at math lesson 2.5, estimate with two-digit divisors. How can you use compatible numbers to estimate a quotient? Remember we've estimated before, and a quotient means to find the answer to a division problem. It says unlock the problem. Let's read our problem. The observation deck of the Willis Tower in Chicago, Illinois is 1,353 feet above the ground. Elevators lift visitors to that level in 60 seconds. About how many feet do the elevators travel per second? You can estimate quotients by using compatible numbers that are found by using basic patterns. 35 divided by 5 is 7, 350 divided by 50 is 7, 33,500 divided by 50 is 70, and 35,000 divided by 50 is 700. There we go, working with those place values and the zeros. Again, it says use two sets of compatible numbers to estimate the difference. So if I have 1,350 divided by 60, we rounded 1,353 to 1,200 because that 12 is easily divisible by 6. And so 1,200 should be easily divisible by 60. The next multiple of 6 is 18, so we rounded 1,353 to 1,800. Step 2, use patterns and basic facts to help you estimate. Well, I know that 12 divided by 6 is 2, and that 120 divided by 60 is 2. Now I've added another 0 here, so I need to add another 0 to my quotient here. And so that would make 1,200 divided by 60 be 20. If I'm going to divide by 18, I know that 18 divided by 6 is 3. And that 180 divided by 60 is 3. I also know that 1,800 divided by 60, now we've added that extra 0, we've been doing 3, so now this one we need to add an extra 0 to our quotient. So we're going to be at 30. The elevator travels about 20 to 30 feet per second. We know that from these numbers. The more reasonable estimate is 100 divided by 60, which is equal to 20, and that is more reasonable because 1,200 is closer to 1,350 than 1,800 is. So the observation deck elevators in Willis Tower travel about 20 feet per second. So the thing to remember here is that you choose something that's easily divisible by your divisor, so a multiple of your divisor, something lower, and then a multiple of your divisor that is something higher. So if I did the multiples of 6, I would go 6, 12, 18, 24, and I would choose the one that is just lower and the one that is higher. Miriam saved $600. Now we're on page 80 in the top box. Miriam saved $650 to spend during her 18-day trip to Chicago. She doesn't want to run out of money before the trip is over, so she plans to spend about the same amount of money each day. Estimate how much she can spend each day. Well, we are going to say that we're going to round our dividend to 600, and we're going to round our divisor to 20. And that gets us about $30. Or we can round it to 800 divided by 20, which gives us about $40. And those are two numbers that are easily divisible. This time we had to also round our divisor up to something that we could divide easily. So Miriam can spend about $30 to $40 each day. Now, if it were me, I would be a little careful because I wouldn't want to overspend, and I know that 800 is higher than 850. So I would choose to spend about $30 each day. So the question under the blue box is, given Miriam's situation, which estimate do you think is the better one for her to use? Explain your reasoning. I want you to talk with your math partner about this. So pause the video and then come back to it after you've discussed it. Okay, so hopefully you did what I asked and you discussed this, and it's like I said earlier, Miriam should use the estimate of $30 because $40 times 18 is $720, and she does not have enough money to spend $40 a day. All right, now we're on the try this in the middle of page 80. It says use compatible numbers. Now, if this were me, I would make 52 be 50. And so I would look at 415 and think, okay, my multiples of 5, what would be the closest? And I would say one would be 400. So 400 divided by 50. And then I would look and say, okay, 50, and what's my next multiple of 50? And it's going to be larger than 415. So that would be 450. So my second one would be 450 divided by 50. And this one would equal 8. And this one would equal 9. Okay, then if we're going to estimate $2,764 divided by 38, I would round this to 40. And I will do my multiples of 4 and see what is just below 27 and what is just above. So if I do my multiples of 4, I have 4, 8, 16, 20, 24, 28. So I might have 2,400 divided by 40 as my low estimate, and I might have 2,800 divided by 40 as my high estimate. So you would get it between 60 and 70. Okay, now we're on the share and show at the bottom of page 80, and this is number 1. 154 divided by 22. So they rounded 22 to 20, and then they took the closest multiple of 2 to 15. So that would be 14. And then that's the lower, and then they went on, and the next higher 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, would be 16, so that would get us 160. And when we divide those by 20, we get 7 and 8. Okay, this is your hot problem number 4. So I want you to go ahead and give me those two estimates and then come back and check. Okay, now that you're back, they rounded 33 to 30, and so we need to put that in this equation. And then we can say, well, how many 3's in 27? And we should know that that is 9. So 270 divided by 9, or 30 is 9. And 300 divided by 30 is 10. So the answer is going to be somewhere between 9 and 10. Okay, this is your second hot problem, number 5. I want you to go ahead and stop your recording and do number 5 and then come back and check with me. All right, in this one we're going to round our divisor to 60 each time. Now we're going to look at what is closest to 2024. If we do our multiples of 6, we have 6, 12, 18, 24. So we can use what was just below 23 was 18, so we can use 1,800. And just above that was 24, or 2,400. So there are 3 60s, or 3 6's in 18, so there are 30 60s. And there are 4 6's in 24, so there are 40 in 2,400. Okay, this is the on your own on page 81, and this is number 7. And again, you're going to do that. Find me 2 numbers. So you can have, so it should look kind of like this on your paper. And I'm going to round 42 to 40. Then I'm going to look at 39 and I'm going to do my multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. So 36 was the one just below, and 40 is the one just above. So 4 goes into 36 9 times, so 40 goes into 369 times. And 400 divided by 40 is 10. Okay, this is number 9 at the top of the on your own. And I would again draw my lines, and I would say divided by and equal. And I would round 28 to 30, because that's the closest 10 number. And then I would count my multiples of 3 until I get to something that's close to 23. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So 21 was just below, and 24 was just above. So there are 7 3's in 21, and I have these zeros, so I don't need to add a 0. And there are how many 3's in 24? 8. And again, I have these zeros, so I don't need to add a 0. Okay, this is number 30, or 13. I'm going to draw my things. Okay, and I'm going to round my divisor to 70. I'm going to do my multiples of 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, and 63. So in this case, 56 is a little bit lower, and 63 is the higher estimate. I can cross out these zeros so I know that 7 goes into 56, 8 times, and that would be 80. And it goes into 63 9 times. Now get started on your homework.